I should have trusted my gut when my wife started working late every Tuesday. But when you've been married for 15 years, you don't expect the woman sharing your bed to be financing luxury hotel rooms with your kids' college fund. The midnight call from her best friend changed everything forever. And what I discovered next destroyed not just my marriage, but everything I thought I knew about the mother of my children. My name is Bradley Connor. I'm 42 years old, and I've been selling insurance policies in Columbus, Ohio for the past 18 years. I'm not the kind of guy who writes his feelings down. But what happened to me needs to be told. Maybe it'll help some other poor soul who's about to get blindsided by the person they love most. It was 12:47 a.m. on a Wednesday when my phone rang. Hazel was dead asleep next to me, snoring softly like she always did after her evening yoga classes. The caller ID showed Samantha Reed, Hazel's best friend since college. Sam never called me directly, and she sure as hell didn't call at midnight unless something was seriously wrong. Bradley. Sam's voice was shaky like she'd been crying. I'm so sorry to wake you up, but I couldn't wait until morning. I sat up in bed trying not to wake Hazel. What's wrong? Is everything okay? It was a long pause. Then Sam said the words that changed everything forever. I can't keep lying to you anymore. Hazel's been cheating on you. The room went silent except for the hum of our air conditioner. I felt something cold spread through my chest, like ice water in my veins. Bradley, are you there? Yeah, I managed. I'm here. I'm at Finnegan's Bar downtown, Sam continued, her words rushing together. I just saw her leave with Ethan from her office. They've been together for months, Bradley. I can't watch her do this to you and the kids anymore. I looked over at Hazel, still sleeping peacefully, her dark hair spread across the pillow. The same woman who'd kissed me goodnight 3 hours ago and told me she loved me. The same woman who'd helped Cody with his algebra homework and tucked Logan into bed. How long? I asked, surprised by how steady my voice sounded. Since at least March, maybe longer. Bradley, I'm so sorry. I should have told you sooner, but she's my friend, and I thought maybe it would just end. But tonight, Sam's voice broke. Tonight, she introduced him to people as her boyfriend, right in front of everyone like you don't exist. I hung up without saying goodbye, set the phone down on my nightstand, and stared at the ceiling in the dark. Hazel stood beside me, mumbling something in her sleep. And I realized I was looking at a stranger. Someone who'd been living a double life right under my nose while I worried about premium rates and helped kids with homework. The worst part of me wasn't even surprised. I didn't sleep for the rest of that night. Just lay there listening to Hazel breathe, wondering how many lies I'd swallowed over the past few months. Every small excuse, every late meeting, every quick shower when she got home, they all made sense now, like puzzle pieces clicking into place. At 6:15 a.m., Hazel's alarm went off. She stretched, yawned, and rolled over to kiss my cheek like she had every morning for 15 years. Morning, honey, she said, her voice still thick with sleep. Morning, I replied, watching her face for any sign of guilt. Nothing, just the same smile she'd worn yesterday when she told me she was working late on the Morrison account. Hazel got up and headed to the shower. I heard the water start running, and that's when I made my first move. Her phone was charging on the nightstand. She never used to take it to the bathroom, but lately it had become her constant companion. I picked it up, no passcode. She trusted me that much. Or maybe she thought I was too dumb to be suspicious. The Messages app was right there on the home screen. The thread with E. Gray Work was third from the top. I clicked it, Can't wait to see you tonight. Brad's got his poker game, so we'll have a hotel to ourselves. The message was from yesterday, Tuesday, poker night. I told the guys I couldn't make it because I wanted to spend time with the family. Hazel had encouraged me to go, said she'd handle bedtime with the kids. Now I knew why. I scrolled up. Months of messages, hotel confirmations, photos that made my stomach turn. And there was the knife twist. He actually bought flowers for our anniversary last week. So clueless. It's almost sad. Our anniversary. I'd spent 2 hours picking out those roses because I remembered her saying she missed getting flowers. She posted a photo of them on Instagram with heart emojis. The comments were full of lucky girl and relationship goals. The whole time she was laughing about it with her lover. The shower was still running. I had maybe 3 more minutes. I screenshot everything I could, texted the photos to myself, then deleted the sent messages from her phone. My hands weren't even shaking. That surprised me. I felt calm, focused, like I was processing an insurance claim, just gathering evidence, documenting damage. When Hazel came out of the bathroom, towel wrapped around her hair. She found me making coffee in the kitchen. "You're up early?" she said, pouring herself a cup. "Couldn't sleep. Big day today. I'm meeting with the Henderson family about their life insurance policy." She nodded, already scrolling through her phone. "I'll probably be late again tonight. The Davidson case is eating up all my time." I looked at her, really looked at her. The woman I bought a house with, had 3 kids with, built a life with. She was lying to my face, while our 9-year-old son ate cereal 6 feet away. "No problem," I said. "I'll handle dinner and homework." She smiled and kissed my cheek. "You're the best, Brad." Logan looked up from his Lucky Charms. "Dad, can you help me with my science project tonight?" "Absolutely, buddy. What's it about?" "Volcanoes," Logan said, grinning with milk on his lip. I smiled back at my youngest son, thinking how fitting that was. Because while he was learning about eruptions in his textbook, I was sitting next to one that was about to blow our family apart. After the kids left for school and Hazel drove off to her busy day at the law firm, I did something I'd never done in 15 years of marriage. I followed her. I called my assistant, told her to reschedule my morning appointments, and got in my car. Hazel's silver Honda was 3 cars ahead of me on Route 33. She wasn't going toward downtown where Brennan and Associates had their offices. She was heading east toward the East End shopping district. My phone buzzed with a text from her. Busy morning ahead. Court filing deadline moved up. Might not have time for lunch. I watched her car signal right into the parking lot of the Marriott Spring Suites. My chest tightened, but my hand stayed steady on the wheel. I parked across the street behind a delivery truck and watched. Ethan Gay's black BMW was already there. I recognized it from the company picnic last summer. He worked in the estate planning department at her firm. Mid-30s, one of those guys who wore expensive cologne and talked too loud at office parties. Hazel had mentioned him before, always professionally. Ethan thinks we should restructure the Johnson Trust. Ethan has some great ideas about the Peterson case. Now I knew what kind of ideas he really had. I watched them meet in the lobby. The way Ethan's hand found the small of her back. How she laughed at something he said and leaned into him like they'd done this dance 100 times. They walked to the elevators together, and I saw my wife transform into someone I didn't recognize. Confident, flirtatious, alive in a way she hadn't been around me in years. I sat in my car for 2 hours. During that time, I got 3 texts from Hazel about her hectic workday, and 1 photo of a legal document she claimed to be reviewing. The timestamp showed she'd sent it 37 minutes earlier. When they finally came back down, Hazel looked satisfied. Hair slightly mussed despite her attempt to fix it. Lipstick reapplied, but not perfectly. She kissed Ethan goodbye in the parking lot. Not on the cheek like colleagues might, but on the mouth like lovers do. I followed her back toward a downtown, watching her stop at a coffee shop, buy herself a latte, and snap a selfie with a caption, "Fuel for a busy day." Posted to Instagram at 11:47 a.m. while I sat 50 yards away, knowing she'd just spent the morning in bed with another man. The notification sound from my phone made me look down. Hazel had liked her own post and commented, "Legal life is exhausting, but somebody's got to do it," with a laughing emoji. That night, she came home right on time, kissed me hello, and asked about my day like nothing had happened. "How was your morning?" I asked, helping Logan with his volcano project at the kitchen table. "Crazy busy," Hazel said, loosening her blazer. "Code deadlines are killing me." I looked at my son carefully measuring baking soda, then at my wife casually lying about her morning in a hotel bed. "I bet they are," I said. 3 days later, I found the credit card statements. Hazel always handled our personal finances while I focused on the business accounts. She was better with details, she said, more organized. Now I realized she was just better at hiding things. I was looking for a homeowner's insurance documents when I found the folder marked H Personal in her desk drawer. Inside were statements for a credit card I'd never seen before. Capital One Venture opened 8 months ago, in her name only. The charges told a story I didn't want to read, but couldn't stop myself from following. Mary at Spring Hill Suites, 247th, February 14th, Valentine's Day, the day she told me she was working late on a merger case. Victoria's Secret, 186. February 12th, lingerie I'd never seen. Roots, Chris Steakhouse, 312 hours. March 3rd, dinner for 2 on my birthday while I was home with the kids, waiting for her to finish her emergency client call. Morton Steakhouse, 287. March 28th, another dinner I wasn't invited to. The Peninsula Beverly Hills, 1847. April 15th to 17th, a weekend spa retreat with the girls while I took the kids camping. But it was the recurring charges that really got me. Spotify Premium for 2 accounts. Netflix with a premium package when we already had basic car payments for a lease I'd never signed. Monthly charges to something called Luxury Travel Club. I added it up, $43,000 in 8 months. Money from our savings account transferred monthly to pay off charges I knew nothing about. Money I'd worked 60-hour weeks to earn. Money meant for the kids' college funds, for our mortgage, for our future. She'd been financing her affair with our children's education fund. I photographed every page, then put everything back exactly as I found it. My hands were completely steady now. The shock was gone, replaced by something colder and more focused. That evening, Hazel made her famous chicken piccata for dinner. She seemed happy, humming while she cooked, asking Evelyn about her day at school, and listening to Cody complain about his chemistry teacher. "This is delicious, Mom," Logan said, sauce on his chin. "Thank you, baby. It's Daddy's favorite." She smiled at me across the table. I smiled back and took another bite of the meal she'd probably paid for with money she'd stolen from us to spend on her boyfriend. After dinner, while she helped Logan with his homework, I went to the computer and started researching divorce attorneys. The breaking point came during Evelyn's basketball practice. I was sitting in the bleachers watching my 13-year-old daughter run drills when Cody dropped down beside me. My 16-year-old son had gotten his driver's license 2 months ago and was supposed to be at his after-school job at the hardware store. "Dad, we need to talk," Cody said, his voice lower than usual. "Shouldn't you be at work?" I called in sick. "This is more important." He stared at the basketball court, not looking at me. "I know about Mom." My stomach dropped. What do you mean? I saw her last Tuesday. I was driving to work and saw her car at that hotel near the mall with some guy. Cody's jaw was tight, just like mine gets when I'm trying to control my temper. I waited around for a while, saw them come out together. I studied my son's face. He looked older than 16, like the last week had aged him years. How long have you known? I asked. Couple months. She's been acting weird, always on her phone, always working late. Plus, she used to ask about my job, my classes, stuff like that. Now, she barely looks up when I walk in the room. We sat there watching Evelyn make layups, both of us processing what this meant for our family. Are you going to divorce her? Cody asked. The question hit me like a punch. Not because it was unexpected, but because hearing it from my son made everything real in a way it hadn't been before. I don't know yet, I said. Honestly, I'm still figuring things out. Good. Because Logan doesn't need to see you get walked on. That stung. What do you mean? Cody finally looked at me. Dad, she's treating you like garbage. And we all see it. Evelyn asked me why Mom doesn't laugh at your jokes anymore. Logan asked me yesterday if you and Mom are getting divorced because she's never home. I watched my daughter steal the ball and drive toward the basket. She was fierce, focused, everything I taught her to be. The thought of splitting up her world made my chest tight. Your mom and I have some things to work through, I said carefully. Dad. Cody's voice was firm. I'm not a kid anymore. I know what I saw, and I know you're not the kind of man who lets people disrespect his family. He was right. I'd raised him to stand up for himself, to protect the people he loved, to have integrity even when it was hard. Now he was watching me ignore my own lessons. What do you think I should do? I asked. I think you should stop letting her lie to us. Logan asked me last week why Mom smells different when she comes home from work. That's not normal, Dad. Practice was ending. Evelyn jogged over, sweat soaked and grinning. Hey, Dad. Hey, Cody. Did you see the steal I made? I did, sweetheart. You were amazing out there. She beamed, then noticed Cody's serious expression. Why do you look like someone died? Cody and I exchanged glances, just talking about grown-up stuff. I said, nothing for you to worry about. But as we walked to the car, I realized Evelyn was already worrying. She was quieter than usual, stealing glances at me and her brother like she could sense the storm coming. That night, after I put Logan to bed and helped Evelyn with her math homework, I found Cody in his room doing push-ups. You okay? I asked from his doorway. He paused mid-rep. Are you? I will be good, he said, resuming his workout. Because this family needs you to be strong right now. Attorney Michelle Brennan's office smelled like leather and old books. She was in her 50s, sharp-eyed with the kind of presence that made you sit up straighter. Sam had recommended her after her own messy divorce 3 years ago. Mr. Connor, she said, gesturing to the chair across from her mahogany desk. Tell me why you're here. I handed her the folder I prepared. Screenshots of text messages, credit card statements, hotel receipts, photos I'd taken of Hazel and Ethan at the Marriott. She reviewed everything silently, occasionally making notes on a legal pad. After 15 minutes, she looked up. This is comprehensive. How long have you been gathering evidence? 2 weeks. Good instincts. In Ohio, we have no-fault divorce laws, but adultery can still impact property division and custody arrangements. She leaned forward. What are your goals here, Mr. Connor? I want full custody of my kids, and I want to make sure she can't take half of everything after spending our savings on her affairs. The custody piece will depend on several factors. Can you prove she's been neglecting the children while pursuing these relationships? I told her about the missed school events, the late nights, the way she'd become distant and distracted, about Cody seeing her at the hotel, and Logan asking why Mommy was never home anymore. What about the financial aspect? Michelle asked. She's stolen over $40,000 from our joint savings and kids' college funds to pay for her affairs. I have documentation of every charge. Michelle nodded approvingly. That's going to be crucial. Dissipation of marital assets is serious business. The court doesn't look kindly on spouses who waste family money on extramarital relationships. She pulled out a calculator and started running numbers based on our assets, income, and debts. Here's what I'm thinking, she said after a few minutes. We file for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. But we include extensive documentation of her adultery and financial misconduct. We request primary custody based on her emotional unavailability and poor judgment. And we ask the court to compensate you for the dissipated marital assets. What are my chances with this evidence? Very good, especially since she's been so careless about covering her tracks. Michelle, close the folder. But I have to ask Mr. Connor, are you sure reconciliation is impossible? Some couples work through infidelity. I thought about Hazel laughing in that hotel lobby, about her texts mocking me to her lover, about the way she looked right through our kids at dinner while planning her next deception. She's not the woman I married anymore, I said. And even if she was, I can't trust her around my children. They deserve better than a mother who thinks lying is normal. Then we move forward. I'll need a $5,000 retainer to start. I wrote the check from my personal business account, money Hazel didn't have access to. As I signed the papers, I thought about Cody's words. This family needs you to be strong right now. For the first time in weeks, I felt like I was finally being strong enough. Tuesday evening changed everything. I was at Kevin's house reviewing divorce papers when my phone rang. Columbus Children's Hospital. Mr. Connor, this is Dr. Martinez. Your son Logan was brought in by ambulance. He collapsed during soccer practice. My blood went cold. What happened? Is he okay? He's stable now, but he's been having severe stomach pain and vomiting. We're running tests. Can you get here right away? I was in my car before the doctor finished talking. Called Hazel 3 times on the way to the hospital. No answer. Straight to voicemail every time. Logan looked so small in that hospital bed, hooked up to IVs and monitors. His face was pale, eyes heavy from pain medication. Hey, buddy, I said, taking his hand. How are you feeling? My stomach really hurts, Dad. Where's Mom? She's on her way. I lied. Checking my phone again, nothing. Dr. Martinez pulled me aside. We think it's his appendix. The inflammation is severe. We need to operate tonight. Tonight? The longer we wait, the higher the risk of rupture. Is your wife coming? I called Hazel again. Still voicemail. Then I remembered Tuesday was her regular late work day, the day she usually spent at the Marriott with Ethan. I'll sign whatever needs to be signed, I told the doctor. Cody arrived 20 minutes later, still in his work uniform from the hardware store. Where's Mom? He asked immediately. Can't reach her. She's probably in a meeting. Cody's jaw tightened. Dad, Logan needs surgery and Mom's unreachable. That's not okay. He was right. Our 9-year-old son was about to go under anesthesia and his mother was somewhere with her lover. Phone turned off, completely unaware. I kept calling. Nothing. Finally sent a text. Logan is having emergency surgery. Get to Children's Hospital now. The surgery took 2 hours. Cody sat with me in the waiting room, both of us watching the door for Hazel to come running through it, panicked and apologetic. She never showed. At 11:47 p.m., Dr. Martinez found us in the recovery area. Surgery went perfectly. Logan's going to be fine. The appendix was close to rupturing, but we got it in time. Thank God, I whispered, relief washing over me. Dad. Logan mumbled from his bed, still groggy from anesthesia. Is Mom here? I looked at Cody, then back at my youngest son. Not yet, buddy, but I'm here. And Cody's here. Why isn't Mom here? That question broke something in me. Not because I didn't know the answer, but because I did. At 12:15 a.m., my phone finally buzzed. Hazel, just saw your text. Is everything okay? Was in a client dinner and had my phone off. On my way. Client dinner at midnight on a Tuesday. She arrived at 12:52 a.m. Hair slightly mussed, makeup smudged, smelling like wine and guilt. Oh my God, what happened? She said breathlessly, rushing to Logan's bedside. Mom. Logan's face lit up despite his pain. I had to have surgery. Dad stayed with me the whole time. Hazel looked at me over Logan's head. I saw the exact moment she realized what her absence meant, what it looked like, what it was. I'm so sorry I couldn't get here sooner, she said to Logan, stroking his hair. Mommy's here now. Where were you? Logan asked innocently. Working, baby? Mommy was working. I watched her lie to our son's face while he was recovering from emergency surgery, and something died inside me. Whatever was left of my marriage, whatever thread of hope or possibility I've been clinging to snapped. Later in the hallway, she tried to explain. Bradley, I know how this looks, but stop, I said quietly. Just stop. It was a legitimate client dinner. The Johnson case has been. Hazel, our son almost died tonight. His appendix was ready to rupture. He was scared, in pain, asking for his mother. And you were unreachable because you were with your boyfriend. Her face went white. That's not, I know about Ethan. I know about the hotels. I know about the credit cards. I know everything. We stared at each other in that sterile hospital corridor while our son slept 10 FT away. We'll talk about this at home, she whispered. No, I said we won't. I filed for divorce yesterday. You'll be served papers tomorrow. The papers were served Thursday morning while Hazel was having coffee with Samantha Reed. Sam called me 20 minutes later. Bradley, what the hell? She just got divorce papers in front of everyone at Starbucks. She's completely falling apart. Good. Maybe now she'll understand that actions have consequences. She says you're trying to take the kids away from her. I'm trying to protect my kids from a mother who prioritizes her affairs over their well-being. Logan could have died Tuesday night. Sam, she was unreachable because she was with her boyfriend. Silence on the other end. Sam, you there? Yeah, I'm here. Bradley, I had no idea it was that bad. It's worse than bad. She's been stealing money from the kids' college funds to pay for hotel rooms. She missed Logan's surgery because she was screwing around with some guy from her office. She's not the friend you think she is anymore. That afternoon, Hazel's attorney called mine, David Brennan, Michelle's husband. They wanted to negotiate. What are they offering? I asked Michelle. Joint custody, 50-50 assets split, and she'll stop using the credit card. No deal, Bradley. Be reasonable. The court usually favors joint custody arrangements. I pulled out my folder of evidence. Bank statements showing the stolen college funds. Hospital records showing Hazel's absence during Logan's emergency surgery. Screenshots of her text mocking me to her lover. Will the court favor a mother who embezzled from her children's education fund? Who's unreachable during medical emergencies because she's committing adultery? Michelle reviewed the documents again. This is compelling evidence of parental unfitness. But custody battles are expensive and emotionally draining. I don't care about the cost. My kids deserve better than a part-time mother who lies to them every day. That evening, Hazel showed up at Kevin's house where I was staying. "We need to talk," she said when I answered the door. "Talk to my lawyer. Bradley, please. I know I made mistakes, but we can fix this. I'll end things with Ethan. I'll go to counseling. Whatever you want." I studied her face. She looked desperate, panicked, like someone who just realized the game was over. "You missed our son's surgery to be with another man." "Hazel, there's no coming back from that. I made one mistake." "One mistake. I have documentation going back 8 months. Hotel receipts, credit card statements, text messages. You've stolen over $40,000 from our family to finance your affairs. That's not one mistake. That's a pattern of betrayal." Her composure broke. The kids need their mother. The kids need a mother who puts them first. "You're not that person anymore. I can change. I can be better. You had 15 years to be better. You chose to be worse." I stepped back toward the door. "The custody hearing is next month. Be prepared to explain to a judge why you weren't there when Logan needed you." As I closed the door, I heard her crying on Kevin's porch. It didn't move me the way it once would have, because while she was crying about losing control of the situation, I was thinking about Logan asking where his mother was while he was scared and in pain. Some bridges once burned can't be rebuilt. 6 months later, I was sitting in my new office at Connor and Associates Insurance, watching Cody help his little brother with homework at the kitchen table through my home office window. We'd moved into a smaller house closer to the kids' schools, but it felt more like home than the old place ever had. The divorce was finalized 3 weeks ago. I got primary custody. Hazel got supervised weekend visits, and she had to pay back $38,000 to the kids' college funds over the next 5 years. The judge wasn't impressed with her financial infidelity or her absence during Logan's medical emergency. "Dad, someone's here to see you." Evelyn called from the front door. I looked up to see Samantha Reed standing in my doorway, holding a coffee cup and looking nervous. "Hey, Sam, what's up? Can we talk privately?" I closed my laptop and gestured to the chair across from my desk. Sam had been the one person who'd stayed neutral during the divorce, maintaining friendships with both me and Hazel despite the mess. "I need to tell you something about Hazel," she said, setting down her coffee. "Something I should have told you months ago." My stomach tightened. "What now?" "She's been calling me, asking me to talk to you, begging me to convince you to take her back. Sam, we've been through this. The marriage is over. I know and I support that decision, but Bradley, there's more you need to know." Sam took a deep breath. "The affair started way before Ethan. There was someone else 2 years ago, a client from her firm. I knew about it, and I kept quiet because she swore it was over. I felt something cold settle in my chest. 2 years, maybe longer. She was always secretive about her phone, always working late, always had excuses. I thought it was just work stress." But looking back, Sam shook her head. "I'm so sorry I didn't tell you. I thought I was protecting your family. 2 years while I was working overtime to pay for family vacations, while I was coaching Logan's little league team, while I was helping Evelyn with middle school drama, all of it while she was living a double life. Does she know you're telling me this? No. And she'll probably never speak to me again when she finds out. But you deserve to know the truth, especially after what she put you and the kids through." I walked to the window and watched my boys laughing over Cody's terrible attempt to explain fractions to Logan. They looked happy, settled, like the chaos was finally behind them. Thanks for telling me, Sam. It doesn't change anything legally, but it helps me understand that I made the right choice. You did. Those kids are lucky to have you. After Sam left, I made dinner for my children. Real dinner, not takeout or frozen meals. Grilled chicken, roasted vegetables, mashed potatoes. The kind of meal a family shares when someone actually cares about feeding them properly. Dad, Logan said between bites, I'm glad we live here now. Why is that, buddy? Because you're always here and you don't look sad anymore. Out of the mouths of babes. The custody hearing had been scheduled for today, but Hazel's lawyer called this morning to cancel. She was dropping her petition for increased visitation rights. I found out why when Cody showed me the Instagram post on his phone. Hazel had married Ethan Gray in a small ceremony in Miami. The photo showed them on a beach looking tanned and happy with the caption, "New chapter, new life, new dreams." Does this bother you, Dad? Cody asked, watching my face carefully. I looked at the photo of my ex-wife in a white dress, kissing the man she destroyed our family for, and felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no regret, just quiet relief that she was officially someone else's problem now. No, son, it doesn't bother me at all. Good, because Evelyn's been worried you'd be upset. That evening, we had a family meeting. All four of us crowded onto the couch in our small living room, eating ice cream and watching Logan try to teach us card tricks he learned at school. Kids, I have some news about your mother, I said during a low on the magic show. They all got quiet. These conversations were never easy, but they'd learned to handle them with more maturity than most adults. She got married today to Ethan. Evelyn was the first to respond. Are you okay, Dad? I'm fine, sweetheart. Better than fine, actually. Does this mean she's not our mom anymore? Logan asked, his forehead wrinkled in confusion. She's still your mother, buddy. But now she has a new family to focus on, which means she probably won't be visiting as much. Good, Cody said bluntly. Every time she visits, she just makes everyone uncomfortable. Anyway, he wasn't wrong. Hazel's weekend visits have been awkward affairs, filled with forced smiles and expensive gifts that felt like bribes. The kids had started making excuses to avoid them. I want you all to know that I'm proud of how you've handled this whole situation, I continued. I know it wasn't easy having your family change so dramatically. But look at us now. We're happy. We're honest with each other. We take care of each other and we eat better, Logan added, making everyone laugh. That's right. We definitely eat better. 2 months later, I got a phone call that made me laugh out loud. It was Sam, and she had news about Hazel's new marriage. Bradley, you're not going to believe this. Ethan's been cheating on her already with his secretary. Hazel found out last week. She's devastated. I thought about how to respond to this. Part of me wanted to feel vindicated, but mostly I just felt sad for everyone involved. That's unfortunate, I said. Finally. She wants to talk to you. She thinks maybe you two could. Sam, stop. Hazel made her choice, multiple choices. She chose Ethan over her family, and now she gets to live with the consequences of that choice. I'm not her backup plan, I know. I just thought there's no going back, Sam. She burned that bridge when she missed Logan's surgery. She burned it when she stole from her children. She burned it when she lied to us for years. Some things can't be fixed. That night, I tucked Logan in a bed and helped Evelyn with her college application essays. Cody was working on his car in the garage, and I could hear him singing along to the radio, happy and carefree. This was my family now, Smaller, but stronger. Honest, but healing. And for the first time in years, that felt like enough.